Welcome to Star Chill Vibes. Dive into the universe of astrology, cosmic energies, and celestial insights with a relaxed, fun twist. Perfect for stargazers who love to vibe with the cosmos. Get your dose of zodiac, moon moods, and spacey good vibes.
And today we are really launching into a deep exploration of what's waiting for Libra in 2026. And this isn't just, your average weekly horoscope.
No, not at all.
The scale of the planetary shifts happening this year, we are really watching the beginning of a truly new era. It's a cycle unlike anything we've collectively been through in decades. The stars are literally dancing into new signs.
And that's exactly why we wanted to do this. That huge structural shift is what makes this so important. So our mission today is to look at these massive, transformative movements of 2026 and see exactly how they color the entire year for you, Libra.
Right.
We're focusing on your core themes, balance, partnership, and of course, identity. We're basically trying to give you the blueprint for the architecture of the next few years of your life.
Yeah, showing you where the foundations need work and where you can expect some really explosive growth.
Exactly. So where do we even begin with a year this big?
Well, to really understand what 2026 is asking of you, we have to zoom out first. We need to look at the collective cosmic blueprint. What's the mandate being issued to the whole world? And that conversation really starts with numerology.
Okay, let's unpack that. So we're talking about the universal themes for the year. You add up the digits, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6.
And you get 1.
You get a 1. So 2026 is a universal 1 year.
Exactly. And the number 1 is all about initiation. It's about individuality, bold action. So this gives us a kind of double emphasis on fresh starts, on striking out on your own, and maybe most importantly, setting the tone for the entire 9-year cycle that's going to follow.
So the seed you plant in 2026, that's the big one.
That's the one. And that seed is your uncompromised self. The core message is about new beginnings, but the instruction is so specific, you have to honor your individuality. Take risks that reflect who you really are.
It's like the universe is saying, stop waiting for permission. For Libra, who is so often focused on consensus and other people, that emphasis on me first is, well, it's a huge challenge right off the bat.
A necessary one. And we can drill down even more into the number 26 itself. You've got the energy of the 2, which is all about cooperation, partnership.
Libra's home turf.
Totally. And then you have the 6, which is home, family, responsibility.
So you have this powerful link being made. It's like it's saying your success out in the world is directly tied to your peace at home. You can't have one without the other.
You've got it. It's asking everyone, but especially you, Libra, to master that balance between your ambition and your family commitments. It suggests that financial blessings, career wins, they're going to feel unstable without that harmony at home.
And this whole theme gets amplified by what you call the global shift, right? The bigger agenda that makes 2026 so different.
Yes, we are, as a collective, moving away from an old way of doing things. One defined by control, by rigid institutions, a kind of passive faith. Think Capricorn and Pisces energy.
And we're moving toward
individual empowerment, direct action, conscious innovation. And the reason this feels so acute is because of a really rare celestial event. By the middle of 2026, all 5 outer planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, will all be in masculine or extroverted signs.
Wow. All 5. That's incredible. I didn't realize that.
It hasn't happened in decades. It's a collective reboot where the energy just shifts dramatically outward. Masculine signs are all about action, influence, moving out into the world.
So less about internal reflection and more about making things happen.
Precisely. The focus favors those who dare to follow their own vision. It sets a really fast, sometimes even aggressive pace for the whole year.
Okay, so let's bring this back to you, Libra. You're a cardinal sign, which means you're an initiator, along with Aries, Cancer, and Capricorn.
And all the cardinal signs are getting a very similar, very crucial lesson in 2026. And it's all centered on emotional honesty.
What do you mean by that?
Well, because cardinal signs are so good at starting things, building external structures, they can sometimes just bypass the messy reality of their own feelings.
So the cosmos is telling you to stop repressing your emotions, to actually use them as a resource.
Yes. For you, emotional awareness is the fuel for real, compassionate action. Understanding your own needs is the first step to building the authentic, lasting structures this year is demanding.
Okay, that is a huge stage set for the year. Let's dive into the specifics then. How do these huge planets actually affect your personal life, Libra?
We have to start with the biggest, most foundational boost happening right at the start of the year, Jupiter's exaltation.
Right. Jupiter, the planet of growth and luck.
And it's in a spectacular placement.
Yeah.
It is exalted in Cancer. When a planet is exalted, it just means it's at its absolute strongest, its most potent and beneficial.
And for Libra, this transit, which actually starts in June 2025 and runs all the way to the end of June 2026, this is hitting your professional life.
Squarely in your 10th house of career, ambition, and public standing. This is your reputation, your authority, your legacy.
So the potential for growth there is immense.
Immense. It brings huge opportunity, potential for a real promotion or elevation in your career. And because it's in Cancer, the sign of home and nurturing, it suggests that success comes from leading with genuine empathy. Your authority is built on making people feel secure.
The sources also point out something a bit more technical, that Jupiter is the lord of your 3rd and 6th houses.
Yes, that's a critical detail. The 3rd house is communication, your community, and the 6th is your daily work, your health, your routines. So when the planet that rules all that moves into your 10th house,
It means your daily communications and your hard work are directly feeding your public reputation.
exactly. But we have to address the caveat that was mentioned, that achievement for Libra in this period would come only after struggling and putting in more effort.
Right. It's not a free ride.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Jupiter provides the open door, the opportunity, but it doesn't do the work for you. The luck is just being in the right position to reap the rewards of the effort you're already putting in. You still have to do the work.
And this intense focus on career is set to change pretty dramatically mid-year, isn't it?
Oh, a massive shift. On June 30th or July 1st, Jupiter moves out of watery Cancer and into the big dramatic fire sign of Leo.
And that moves the energy for Libra into
Your 11th house of friendships, social networks, and shared goals. So you pivot from structuring your professional life to expanding your community and collaborating.
So the focus shifts from climbing the ladder to influencing the group.
Perfectly put. Jupiter in Leo is all about expanding your creative horizons through your networks. The opportunities start coming through your friends and your community involvement. It's a very joyful, creative, social energy.
Okay, so while Jupiter is bringing these blessings, we have to talk about what seems to be the most demanding and pivotal area for you in 2026.
Relationships.
Relationships. This is where Saturn and Neptune come in.
This is the main event of 2026 for you, Libra. Hands down. Saturn, the planet of structure, responsibility, discipline. It permanently enters Aries on February 14th.
Valentine's Day, of course.
Of course. And this isn't a quick visit. This marks the beginning of a profound 36-year cycle in this area of your life. And crucially, it joins Neptune, planet of dreams and illusion, which is also in Aries.
And for Libra, Aries is your 7th house.
Your 7th house of partnerships, marriage, one-on-one contracts, even your open enemies. It's the house directly opposite your sense of self.
So having cold, hard structure from Saturn and dissolving spiritual truth from Neptune, both happening there at the same time, that sounds incredibly intense.
It is. It forces a reckoning. Let's break it down. Saturn's role in your 7th house brings this need for maturity. You have to make important long-term decisions. You have to apply discipline to your relationships.
So setting boundaries, having the hard conversations.
Exactly. Building durable, lasting structures. And then you add Neptune, which rules dreams, but also confusion and illusion. It invites this radical authenticity into your partnerships.
Meaning if you've been ignoring problems or living in a fantasy.
And Neptune will dissolve that illusion, sometimes painfully, so that only the pure foundational truth of the connection is left.
Wow. Okay, and the peak of this is the conjunction itself.
The conjunction. Around February 20th, Saturn and Neptune meet at 0 degrees Aries. This is an event of staggering rarity and power.
0 degrees Aries. That's the very first degree of the entire zodiac. It's a pure, unadulterated beginning.
A total reset. It's where the cold, practical reality of structure, that's Saturn, meets the intangible dream, that's Neptune. This is resetting the dynamics of connection for decades, right on your partnership axis.
So if a relationship is built on solid ground, it gets stronger. If it's based on fantasy,
It dissolves. It has to. And for you, Libra, who values harmony so much, this requires the bravery of the warrior, of Aries, to face that truth. It's an identity test, really, carried out through your significant other.
that is a lot to process. Moving away from the relational axis, what about the intellectual and creative parts of life?
2 other major outer planet shifts are changing how you think and express yourself. First, Uranus is in Gemini.
The Great Awakener.
Exactly. The planet of disruption, innovation, shock. It's in Gemini for a long-term stay, and that's going to challenge every established idea you have.
And for Libra, Gemini is the 9th house. So that's higher education, travel, belief systems.
Yes. So expect upheaval in your philosophical approach to life. Uranus in an air sign like Gemini just accelerates the speed of information, forcing you to free your mind from old limitations. You could see sudden changes in travel plans, a radical new course of study.
Or just a profound shift in what you believe.
Completely. And then we have Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto is the planet of deep, deep transformation, death, and rebirth.
And it's moving through Libra's 5th house.
Your 5th house of creativity, romance, pleasure, and children. This encourages a deep psychological transformation in how you express yourself and what brings you joy. You're shedding old skins around how you seek pleasure and self-worth.
So it's a call to be truly, authentically you in your creative expression.
Without apology. And there's a really helpful aspect here. A harmonious trine between Jupiter and Gemini, which is your 9th house of ideas, and Pluto and Aquarius, your 5th house of creation.
A trine means easy flow, right? Support.
Yes. So your transformed philosophy, your revolutionary new ideas are directly fueling your creative output and your joy. It's a beautiful connection.
Okay, so with these huge, slow-moving waves in the background, let's track how the monthly energy shifts for you, Libra. How does 2026 play out month by month?
Right. This helps put some dates on where the effort is needed most. January is all about establishing the structural tone for the year.
Linking career and home.
Exactly. We start with a full moon on January 3rd in Cancer, and for you, that's in your 10th house of career.
So a culmination, the peak of that professional growth we were just talking about with Jupiter. Maybe a promotion or a big project finishing up.
It's the moment it becomes visible to everyone. And then the counterbalance. A new moon on January 18th in Capricorn in your 4th house phone foundations.
So a new seed being planted for your domestic life, your emotional security.
Yeah.
What roots are you strengthening to support that public growth?
That's the question. And there's also a little relationship check-in on January 10th with the waning moon in your own sign, in Libra. It's a moment where forced harmony gets tested.
Where friction reveals what isn't really working.
A necessary reevaluation before the main event in February.
And February it's arguably the most significant month of the whole year.
Without a doubt. This is the major activation of your 7th house. The new multi-decade cycle begins here.
It kicks off with Saturn entering Aries on the 14th.
Yes. Saturn moves into your 7th house of partnerships for the long haul. There's no more putting off those relationship conversations.
And then around the 20th, we hit that cosmic reset button.
The Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees Aries. This is where structure and dream merge, resetting your relational dynamics for the next 36 years. It demands huge decisions, accountability, authenticity.
And at the same time, there's a solar eclipse in Aquarius on the 17th.
Right in your 5th house of creativity and joy. Solar eclipses are super-powered new beginnings. This could spark a major new creative project, a big shift in a romance. It's asking you to start a massive creative change.
Wow. Okay, so after that intensity, what does March bring?
March brings a focus on purification and surrender. It starts with a lunar eclipse on March 3rd in Virgo.
And that's hitting Libra's 12th house of privacy, endings the unconscious.
Yes. The 12th house is where we hide things, and Virgo is about being useful, being functional. This eclipse is a necessary cleansing of old habits where you were maybe over-giving behind the scenes, leading to exhaustion. It forces a release.
A non-negotiable emotional cleaning. I like that.
And right after that, on March 2nd, Mars enters Pisces, activating your 6th house of health and routine. Now, Mars is your drive, your action. But in Pisces, that turns into flow, compassion, even fog.
So you have to change how you approach your daily work. Action becomes surrender, not conquest.
Exactly. If you've been trying to force things, March demands a more compassionate, spiritually guided approach to your daily life. Productivity comes from alignment, not just effort.
What about April and May? Does the pace slow down at all?
The pace of the lunations, yes, but the big transits are still dominating. That potent Jupiter transit in your 10th house is still going strong, so career development is a huge focus.
So this is a time for consolidation, maybe? You're probably still dealing with the fallout from that February conjunction.
Precisely. April and May are when the rubber meets the road for those 7th house commitments. Saturn demands follow-through. If you had those hard talks in February, now is the time to formalize things, implement the new structures, or finalize the separation.
And then June hits, and we have that second massive planetary shift of the year.
This is the definitive Jupiter shift moment. On June 30th, Jupiter leaves Cancer and your 10th house and enters Leo, activating your 11th house.
The house of community, networks, and future hopes.
A powerful, enthusiastic redirection of energy. The focus moves away from your personal professional climb and toward collective shared achievements. You'll find yourself leading social initiatives, really benefiting from your friendships.
Okay, so what about the third quarter, July through September?
This period is really focused on karmic alignment and integration. We see the lunar nodes, which are all about destiny, really come into play.
Right, there's a big nodal shift around July 26th. The North Node moves into Aquarius and the South Node into Leo.
And for you, Libra, this axis lights up your 5th and 11th houses. The North Node in Aquarius in your 5th house is telling you your future fulfillment lies in expressing your revolutionary, authentic self, creatively and romantically.
And the South Node in Leo in the 11th house means you have to release something.
You have to release your reliance on old group dynamics or outdated social networks that no longer serve you. It's a call to stop conforming to the group and start creating your own joy, even if it means stepping away from a comfortable network.
And that brings us to the final quarter of the year, October to December.
As we get into the fall, the focus on community that Jupiter and Leo started is intensified by Mars.
Mars enters Leo at the end of September.
Yes, and stays there until late November, right in your 11th house of community. Mars in Leo is proud, self-confident, grand. Combined with Jupiter, this encourages you to take the lead in your groups and social networks with a really dramatic, self-assured flair.
So it's your time to be the charismatic leader.
Absolutely. This is where you can crystallize the potential that Jupiter's been offering in that house since June.
And then how does the year wrap up in December?
December brings it all full circle, really. We have a full moon on December 23rd in Cancer, back in your 10th house of career, echoing the themes from January.
So it brings up that tension again between work, pleasure, and home life, a final juggling act.
It's the annual reckoning. It's asking you, have you successfully integrated your professional achievements with your emotional and domestic security? The answer is really key to moving into 2027.
Okay, so if we were to just synthesize all of this, what's the big takeaway? What's Libra's evolutionary path in 2026?
It really comes back to your core identity, the justice archetype in the tarot.
The scales and the sword, balancing logic and intuition, seeking fairness, acknowledging the truth.
And 2026, with that Saturn-Neptune test right in your partnership house, is the year you have to embody that archetype in your relationships. The scales are balanced by facing reality, that's Saturn, and demanding authenticity, that's Neptune.
Now, on a more positive note, despite all this intense testing, the sources do say that Libra is one of the signs favored for commitment and marriage in 2026.
It sounds contradictory, doesn't it? But it makes perfect astrological sense. Saturn demands secure, long-term foundations. So because you're forced to strip away the illusion and build a real structure, the unions that actually survive this phase are incredibly stable. They're built for the long haul.
But personal readiness is the key.
It's everything. And that brings us back to that recurring theme for the year, the path of effort. Achievement comes only after struggling and putting in the work. This is not a year of easy whims.
It's about building a foundation that will last for decades.
Exactly. The effort is both psychological being, emotionally honest, and practical. Setting boundaries, having the hard talks, doing the work.
So the big aha moment for you, Libra, is realizing that all the friction you're going to experience this year, it isn't the sign of failure.
Not at all. It's the opposite. The friction is the process. It's how true long-term balance reveals itself. You're cleaning house structurally and spiritually in your closest connections so that only the authentic stuff remains.
So the foundation you build in your partnerships and career this year is, for all intents and purposes, permanent.
It is. You're taking the grand vision and making it real through discipline and truth.
So what's the final provocative thought you want to leave everyone with?
Well, the one thing to really sit with is this. The shift of all 5 outer planets into extroverted signs is forcing the whole world to act. But for you, Libra, that combined with the new Saturn-Neptune cycle is forcing you to confront your identity through the lens of partnership. Your ability to define yourself independently is being tested for its spiritual authenticity. And this is all paving the way for the partnerships and the career you truly deserve, built on bedrock, not on sand.
Remember, you are building the architecture for your future self. We really hope this deep dive gave you some serious food for thought. We love vibing with you, so please be sure to comment below, like this deep dive, and subscribe to our channel, Star Chill Vibes, for more cosmic insight.